For the first video in this spiritual aloneness series, I'd like to go to a prayer by Carl Rahner that captures a very wonderful experience of God. He writes, "Only in love can I find you, my God. In love, the gates of my soul spring open, allowing me to breathe a new air of freedom and forget my own petty self. In love, my whole being streams forth out of the rigid confines of narrowness and anxious self assertion, which makes me a prisoner of my own poverty and emptiness." What wonderful words to capture that in our love for God, and sometimes even in our love for other people, in our love for the life that God has given us, we are made to move out of ourselves. And when we move out of ourselves into God, we find God there. And God then invades our souls. So that in this beautiful self forgetfulness, this streaming forth of us as we reach out in love towards God, we can find very, very beautifully that God is close to us and we are separated from that which keeps us away from God. And so, for those of us who live alone, we know that we are called to love God intimately, deeply, powerfully within ourselves. And when we're able to tap into that love we have for God, we find that God responds. And in fact, for many of us, it's the fact that God loves us that allows us to respond, and then God responds again. And so I would hope that through this little passage from this prayer of Karl Rahner, that you would be able to pray with it and sense yourself moving out, streaming forth in love towards God, that you would find this freedom in God. And in these moments when these words wash over you, you might find yourself moved into the presence and the love of God. May this prayer be very helpful to you in your very own prayer.